Okay, for your request, I'm just creating this table SO items. Sales items. Okay, it's going to be this one, and just create maintenance alert. And this may be boring for you. Bear with me. So, yeah, and these two are my key fields. Sales order item, and I'm going to the structure of this one to pick up the respective data elements. So, and these two, sales order and sales order item. Yes, and material. This is anyway magna plant. This is plant. Come on, stops in between. I think I see nobody is using this system. If everybody uses, then it is keeping up always. What we do, please make use this system effectively. We are paying for it. I am using to my extent, so you can explore all the things whatever there in the system. So you can create your own role, and you can even explore HANA side of it. Everything you can explore. Item volume is this one. Net amount. Is this one, and currency is this one. And let me quickly map these ones here. Where is this base unit? So saving. Save it. Okay, go ahead. And technical settings. Fine. And now go back. Activate. Yeah, done. We're done with our table. Just exit from here for now. So going back to our project, and here if you see as we have table, we can remove this reference now and we can put our mm, table structures here. If we would like to do that, we are pretty much happy to do it. There's nothing to stop us doing it. So in your example, you just create these tables, or take these tables. Don't create tables. Take these tables, the created tables, and reference them in your entity sets. Okay. And now, what we are going to do, we are going to create a header and item, the sales order along with its item. So that is called deep create in our OData terminology. And to do the deep create, we still need this setup here. As we have this navigation already set up, we are not going to do anything in our gateway project to achieve the deep create. So we are not touching anything here, if you see. But if we go to our dpc ext class, we will be exploring some other methods. They are coming from interfaces. So let me expand this a bit. If you see here, as we know the term, what it is deep create. So search with the key deep. So if you see here, there is only one which exists with create deep entity. And underneath it, you see create entity, create stream, delete entity, delete stream, and etc. All these one, get entity set, everything. At some point, you may have a question in your mind that I have here create entity, delete entity specific to my entity sets that are created in under my OData project. Then why I have this get entity and the get entity set here as well. So these are all the methods coming from this interface, application service runtime. So this application service runtime executes a step before our entity sets. So if I go ahead into, let's say, let me pick up for this get entity or get entity set of sales order set. So if I go into get entity set here in application service runtime, where I see it, application, sorry, yeah, application service runtime, get entities set. So if you see here, this is what from application service get entity set. So if I get inside it, it will obviously the implementation will be in its super class DPC. It's gonna go here. So it's pretty much clear that, so if the entity set is this one, sales order set, what is the method it is calling? This is all system generated code. We haven't written anything here. So if you see, when this entity set is being called, then do this. And if this entity set is being called, and do this. And when others, just call get entity set of this particular one. So what it means to us, if we want to avoid implementing our logic in their specific methods, then what we can do, we can straight away go here to the application service runtime, and we can redefine this method, get entity set method, we can write instead calling these methods. If we have any data providing methods or classes outside this class, we can straight away write our logic here. But I would recommend to not to follow this one, not to redefine this one, leave this to um, uh, framework, gateway framework process, because this is already modularized. We do not want to disturb this one. So whatever the entity sets you create, then let's generate the framework, the modularized methods. So we do not want to go into at this um, extent level to uh, make it more complex. So if it is easily identifiable in the DPC ext class, that would make more sense. Okay, so similarly, there will be all these 5 operation methods here, update entity and all those methods. So we will not be redefining these methods as we have seen here. Okay, so application service runtime. But for creating the deep entity, we do not have any option here, a separate or independent method to achieve deep create functionality. So that what we are doing here is we are going ahead with the deep create, sorry, deep create available in our application service runtime. So if you get into this one, there will not be a meaningful implementation. So it's just referring or raising an exception, the method was not implemented. So now we are going to implement this create a deep entity. So let me redefine this. That's it. It's normal way. Okay. So let me remove this one and let me save this one and activate it. That's fine. Good. So now what we are going to do, we will be understanding a bit more about the JSON format here. So whatever we know already how the deep uh, deep JSON format look like, and that we understood from uh, reading an entity set using expand key along with its navigation properties. fnd/gw underscore client. So I'm going to gateway client and I'm just going ahead and pick my test group here and I'm searching for navigation with expand. Let's look at it, how it is the get request. So expand key. So this is all about one sales order up to here. If you see, if I want to specify any specific sales order, I would like to specify it in here 32. And after our class yesterday, I was able to create sales order that is 31, 32, 33. I have created with multiple line items. If you see here, we have multiple line items in this particular sales order, almost 5 line items here. Okay, so I'm going to use this payload, the response as a payload, and I'll make some adjustments to it. And I'm going to use that as a post request to achieve the deep create. So the deep create will look like same. So here we are influencing multiple entries under the items, whereas header will be one item. So in this case, we will be needing to create a header and as well as items at the same time. So let me click on this use as request button. So it comes this side into my payload. Now I don't need my response. So here I do not need to have this metadata. Let me remove this one and let me go here, and also here I do not need these results. Okay, but you ensure here there is a square bracket, because it is going to be an array with multiple entity or multiple objects, multiple entities or multiple objects, we can say. So let me remove it, and also metadata in all the objects. Yes, I'm done. So this is what it is. It closes here. And if you're unsure about your JSON format, copy this one and go to uh, Google and type JSON formatter. So JSON formatter. So any of the JSON formatter tool you can choose. If you choose this one, if you place your JSON here, it will tell you if there are any errors. So this obviously we do not need this one. Okay, and convert to JSON to, sorry, and now validate and see there are still errors. Let me remove this again. One more curly braces. Now you see the error has gone, and again validate. So now this time it is perfect. No errors. I can now copy this one and come back to my payload, and I just replace it. Okay. So now let me see. Yeah, everything fine. And now I can make changes to my payload, whereas I do not need this created user and created date, sales order type, OR, and I do not really need this one. Sales order number, whether it is uh, inputted also, I don't mind. But 1010 is sales organization, and let me change this to GBP and some amount, and total amount. In general, they are going to be total of these line items, but for our case we are just going to save this in temporary G table. It really doesn't matter for us. So the material stays same, and whatever it is same, and item volume, let me make it 4, and that's fine. Or I can leave everything as it is. Just we need to understand how it works. So now what is going to happen to the URI? So URI is going to be same as our post request, the post request. So we do not need to specify what deep information we are going to create in this particular uh, post HTTP method. So the framework will automatically identifies based on its navigation properties. So if there is a navigation property provided, the framework will automatically identify it, and the framework will divert the call to uh, deep create a deep entity. And if you post this request without having this navigation property, it will direct the call to create entity of this particular entity set. Okay, so it happens that sometimes we will be leaving this, and we will be applying payload on only header level, and we will be trying post request. So that time we might be looking at this method, why this is not getting triggered. But even if you uh, have no values in your navigation property. The navigation property must be specified as like this: the empty rows. Okay, then only it identifies. Okay, it is create deep entity set. Okay, so now let me go here and put a breakpoint, and we'll try to understand what happens now. So we need to do some adjustments, the data declarations accordingly here. Let us see what adjustments we need to do. So if we go here again, we don't see any additional information here. So see everything, the uh, IT key tab, entity name, and IO data provider. This is the one which is key for now for our implementation. Navigation path, it's empty, and entity set name, yes, it is filled up. So there are no filter or something like that, because filter or something is not necessarily needed in this case, because it's not a get protocol. So it's a post which is coming into our system to make some corrections or data modifications. So let us bypass this one. So now we see the message like service provider did not return any business data. So this is also a familiar error which we will be getting in real time. So we might be forgetting to export the data whatever has been generated. In our case, the sales order number will be generated, right? So the sales order number, the generated sales order number should go back to the consumer. So we will be doing that. That's okay. So now one more thing, as I mentioned yesterday, we will have MPC class, and in the MPC class, we will have the local types created according to our uh, data model created in SGW project. So let us go ahead and look at that one. And there is a reason why we should look at it. So MPC, okay, display, and I'm going to types. So if you see here, sales order type and sales order type, table type, and sales order items structure, and sales orders items table type. So there is no structure or table type exist combining these two. So we have here the navigation property defined. It's just a relationship defined, but based on that, we don't expect from framework to create any deep structures using this relationship. Okay, but in our example here, if you see, we must need a deep structure to store this information whatever has been given in the payload. Okay, so now we need to add one more type here to accommodate this facility, the deep data storage. So obviously we will not be able to do it in MPC class. Okay, MPC is a generated one, and whenever we make changes in our gateway project, this will be rewritten or overwritten or regenerated with according to the uh, gateway project. So if we add something here, yes, yes,
What is this text element? It's automatically generated.
yes, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. So these text elements, whenever we want to uh, use exceptions, so that time we will use this text elements. I'll come back to that. So now whatever the extension class we have provided by gateway framework MPC ext, so MPC ext is to include such model related changes, um, uh, types into this MPC ext. So this is not going to be regenerated for the custom variables or custom types, whatever we include in the MPC ext, they are not going to be touched by the framework. So um, whatever the gateway project has, they're all going to be placed in the MPC class. Obviously, the MPC is the super class here, and these all the attributes and the methods whatever came from coming from the MPC class. Okay, if unless we have specific reason to uh, redefine them, we do not necessarily need to do them. But in our case right now, we need to include a type which has the deep capability to store this information from the payload. So let me go here and add ts underscore so deep sales order deep. So this is going to be public. Let me make it public, and let me go inside. So here, if you want types begin of ts deep, sorry, I think we should create the data begin of yeah, that's fine. So the include type, what we do here, um, we will add our MPC class here, MPC, and we take the type reference from TS. What is this? Go to MPC class, take the same so reference, go to types, and TS sales order type. So why we are taking only TS sales order type? Because we will have only one sales order header coming in, and but the line items will have n cardinality. So we will be taking this two items. Okay, so type, in this case we will be taking the table type of sales order items. Okay, so the same MPC class is being referred. So end of TSSO deep. Okay, it's just saying let me go ahead and someone in the lobby. Yeah, let me go ahead and create it as an attribute. Um, as we are referring to data, so it's a static attribute. It can be public, and I just need to go here and define this one here. Okay, edit. What is this? Include type is unknown. MPC, it's correct. Two items. Mm, to turn off only the DDIC structure. Ah, sorry, it's sales orders. It's a name issue. Okay, so we have defined it here. So there is some practice where we can define this inside the DPC class as well. Okay, we can do this one as well. So whenever we call the method IO data provider, okay, it's same method, read entry data, and whenever we receive this data, we will be giving this GS data, GS deep. Okay, so let me activate this one. So now when we have this local declaration, why do we need to make it global here at the MPC class, MPC EXT class? So the answer is, if we have a scenario like we want to export this data to anywhere, some other modularization into any utility methods or to any function module to take it further from this OData service. So in that case, we need to send this data as a parameter, exporting parameter. So if we declare it local, we won't be able to take it or export it to any of its further interfaces. So that is the reason we are just making it uh, global, so that we can straight away refer this as data ls deep data, like we can refer this one. So MPC and GS, sorry, not MPC, EXT, GS, the class is not reloaded. So that's the reason it's not appearing there. Oh, come on, it is converted as instance attribute. So that's the reason might be it's not appearing there. Yeah. So now the issue of refreshing the class, reloading it, and let me come on, dpc ext. Now I can see my create dependency in my redefinitions, and I can see the GS. Okay. So if we have this global type, we can take it. Uh, we can mention this any of its importing or exporting parameters easily with the deep entity. So that is the only task we need to do in case of create a deep entity point of view. So from here onwards, it's our own process. So we will be generating our sales order number, and we will be inserting item data first and then header data. Then if everything goes, then we can use commit framework here, as because there are the two transactional data are being performed in two different database tables. Okay, so if we see this one now, let me put a breakpoint and go here, and let me trigger this request and see what's gonna happen. Yeah, so this GS SOD. Okay, if you see now, it has the information, header information in this one, and at the bottom we can see two items listed down, and two items has five entries in it. If we double click on it, so this is all the item information here. Okay, so likewise we can have n number of deep or navigation properties, and there is no limit of having the navigation information. So two items can have another navigation property, and it can collect, for example, the material information, the material, the list of plants, how many plants this material has been extended as well. So let us check that one as well. And okay, so here let me implement our code here. So I will be referring to our create entity for ease. I will copy the logic from there. Dpc ext, yes, open it, and create entity of sales order set. Yeah. Uh, yeah, just a minute. Someone in the lobby. Yeah. So let me copy it, and I need to make corrections accordingly. Let me remove this one. In this case, I have GS is for deep. So ls table of this one, I should do it, and ls table sales document number will be generated. That's fine. Created by, yeah, that looks okay. And okay, so if size of ASCII is 0, now I'm going to uh, collect the item information. So let me define the items, ls items and so items. This is the table. Okay, and here I'm going to deal with the GSSO deep, and you can easily guess this one. Loop at, so there is 2 items in this, so I'm going to loop in this one. Field symbols, assign items, and now I can do it in different ways. I can collect into a table and I can insert one by one into the table, all together into the table, or I can directly insert the items into the table here itself. So what I do, I'll just insert here itself. So here less items corresponding of less items. Okay, and from this one I need to do another thing is I need to pass the generated sales order number. Sales order equal to, and this comes from ls sales document number, and also the sales item I just want to increment this by 10. So I'm not relying on my payload, so plus 10. Okay, and SO items from my ls items. So in general, this is not the good practice. Okay, and now finally inserting the line the table, and then if here I need to do one more thing here. So if you see here E or deep entity, likewise we have seen in our create entity or get entity, they are straightforward types, if you see here. So in this case we have specific structure assigned to it with a list of fields. In that case, we did not had any confusion, and we straight away mapped the information to the returning or exporting parameter. But in this case, it's going to be a data type of data. So we won't be having an opportunity to straight away map this information. So for example, if the size of ASCII is initial, what we are trying to do here is um, in the same ls items, let me make it 20. I'll tell you the reason. And at the same time, we will just have this in sales order item. I'm assigning the same sales order item number to this one as well, and also I'll assign sales order to it. The generated sales order and the new sales order item has to be part of payload as well. The response, once it is created, we would like to see what is the item and what is the uh, sales order generated for this. So if you want, you can remove these two information at the item level, because those two are going to be um, generated by the system to avoid confusion. So in this case, I think we can have 10 in our code as well. So I thought there is already 10. It may be confused, but now in this case we can have 10 as well. And in the ls table, yeah, that's fine. And where is this one? gs. Yeah, here we should be assigning this to gs as well. So gs created by equal to, and gs creation, sorry, uh, created date, creation date. Okay, and also we should assign the um, generated sales order number. Sales order equals to this one, sales document number. And finally, we do, if we like, we can do commit work. And the last step is going to be, we need to map something to this one. So we are not sending any response so far, but we have done all our code implementation. So still in this case, we are going to get the same response. The service provider did not return any business data. So this is what we are going to receive. And let's see what happens here and everything. Okay, let me execute it. Yep, come here and find. Yep, and we have got the number 16, and fine, it's just going ahead. Items, yeah, ls items, and in the ls items we have all the information, sales order and its item, and all the information has been mapped to it, and it's gonna insert into the table. Okay, all fine. So now again the sales order number, and this time item is going to be sorry, now this is an issue. So here what I'm doing, okay, yeah, that's bad. I need to have a local variable here, so it's not going to work in this. But we have received a message saying the service did not return any response. Sales order item, LS items. Okay. So here we are just resetting it. That's why. That's fine. Let me create. I don't know what type it is. Uh, yeah, sales order items. Don't take this long route. So this is the item. So this item and this item plus this one. And to return the data, we have some easy method available in our dpc-ext itself. Let me go to our dpc-ext itself. So in the methods, come on. So data to reference.
Copy data reference.
Yeah, data reference. Come on. So copy data to reference. So if you see here, conversion services, this is. So copy data to reference. So this is the method we just need to use to convert our response data, our carrier data into the gateway response. So let me use this method here, copy data to reference, and control space, we get all the signature here, and GSSO deep, and here I specify the E or deep entity. Here you go, all my stuff is done here. Here I'm sending the response, the meaningful response to gateway. So now let's see what happens. I'm straight away going F8. Okay, so we see now the success 201 here, and in the response, if you see here, we have received the generated sales order number, sales order item 10, material, whatever it is, and yeah, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then our header information created by and creation date along with it. So this is how we achieve the creation, deep creation in OData. So if we have such scenarios, we should be doing in this way. So the only, I think, three things we need to know. One is the payload must be included with the navigation property, even If there is no data, if we want to influence create deep entity, then of course we must include the empty array with the navigation property name. This is number one. And number two, we should have a deep structure created by our own. Either it can be in local or it can be in global. That is two. And anyway, we know about this implementation. We don't need to specifically discuss about this. The number three, the response we need to send using this method, copy data to reference. These are the only three things we need to be storing in our mind in terms of deep creation. Okay, so any questions on this deep create? We will have multiple entities or multiple entity sets created as navigation. As I mentioned, it can go deep under deep as well, or it can have multiple navigation properties under the header itself, like two items, and there can be two customers as well. Two customers or two sales orders, something like that.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah,
Jamil, actually, this declaring this deep structure,
yes.
sometimes we do in define method and sometimes we do locally here. So, which is the best way and why do you do that?
Not in the define method. We have not there. We are not there in define yet.
Okay.
Okay, define is for something, some different purpose. Okay, so
Okay, and extension types we do, right?
in ext
MPC
mpc
extension
mpc
type.
ext, yes, mpc ext, in mpc ext we do create this deep deep structure, yes. Okay, so if we want to use this as a common global variable, okay, global declaration, whereas if it's a the real business requirements are not this pretty simple, right? So they will have a lot of processing logic. So whereas we might be ending up creating 2000, 3000 lines of code in the same method, which looks very ugly in terms of the modularization. So in that point of view, what as a developer we decide, okay, let's read this data and take this data uh, along with another class method, or sometimes we might be triggering a different task, okay, or background task using a function module. So whereas this will just go back instantly, but background task will take some time. So whereas we think that the all error handling mechanism has been built into a function module, but the function module is requiring only data, the content, whatever coming from the OData service. So in those cases, if we say the function module itself taking half an hour time and 30 minutes, this tunnel cannot be alive. Okay, max it can stay 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So in those cases, we must need to input the data coming from OData to our function module or any other class method or whatever. If we need it for other framework, in those cases, we must be able to define importing or exporting parameter. So
Okay. We can
in that
reduce.
in that case, specific case, we must have this in global somewhere to reference, yes, this is the data having this structure, and that can be used across in the calling function module or method
Function.
so wherever you are defining in importing or exporting parameters, or if you want to even store this data in global attribute, in that particular case, we must need to have global type.
Okay, it's just like a local defining and global. That is
Yes,
right.
yes.
Ah, yeah.
So it is not, again, it is not necessarily to have this type defined in MPC ext class. You can have it in DPC ext class as well. So as this is a static declaration, it can be anywhere in these relevant classes.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. As MPC is covering the concept of model provider, so we prefer to have all these declarations in MPC itself. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And okay, that's fine. Any other questions on this deep create? Okay, fine. So now here we will be learning the complex type. Complex type is similar to this one, but it's not same as deep create. Let me go to the gateway project. Let me go into the change mode. Come on. So deep create, I would request you to do at least one example with deep create. That will flush out all the questions in mind. So as we get errors, the real errors, come on. Yeah, every session. Here we go. We have got this back. And if you go to our entity types, okay, we see something at the parameters level. So the parameters level, something complex type we see here. So this complex type is again a deep structure related topic. So if we have a deep structure covered covered inside the entity itself, then it's going to be here in complex type. So complex types here we create using data model. Right click on the data model and create. Here we see the complex type. So once we create complex type here, so we will need to decide about a scenario, whereas I will think about sales or item, and where is the sold to party at here. So we have here sold to party, and in this one we will have the sold to party further information. Okay, let's think in that way. I'm going to create a complex type here, create complex type. So sold to details type, and in this complex type I will have some properties. So let me again go to my Eclipse and try to find customer CDS. So I underscore customer. Yes, I have customer data definition here, and I'm taking some of the information from this customer CDSU. So I see my SQL view on top in this CDSU. So okay, fine. So I saved it, and now I'm just right clicking on it and I'm trying import properties. So I will be selecting specific information, customer full name. If I want to include some additional information, what else I can include? Country, customer country, and yeah, I don't want that one. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with these three fields at the moment. Customer, customer full name, and customer country. Okay, if we want to add name as well, but anyway, we'll be getting in full name. That's fine. So as we are creating this as a complex type, that means we are going to have it as an include structure. If we say we don't need to specify any key field for this. If you see, everything has been grayed out. So I'm just saying finish. Perfect. I have created complex type. That's fine. And now I'm going to assign it to my sole to party. So the sole to party here right under sales orders type, and if I go here I can choose my complex type against my sole to party. What is this? Okay, so for the sole to party I shouldn't be having EDM type. Okay, so now let me save this one. I think we will be disturbing all implementations at the moment. Okay, let me not to do that.
So if we generate this new one and we erase the existing implementation,
Existing, sorry.
uh,
No, 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 it will not delete any implementation, but obviously the field names, the mapping, whatever we have done in our implementation, create entity,
mm,
update entity, everything we have to adjust.
correct. We have to read.
So rather going in that way, uh, I'm trying to create new entity set for this alone. So let me save this one and let me pick up another entity type. Let's go ahead and create another type. What type I can choose? Uh, Sales area. No, it has not been listed. And Let me pick up the sales order customer type, sales order customer set. Okay, so in this case, again, I will take I sales order, and we will be doing minimal get entity set implementation. But in that, we will be adding the customer information there. Where is this here? So I have assigned this, and let me go and pick some of the information. Import properties, sales order and sold to party. Specifically, I'll pick sales order and sold to party. And to sold to party, I will assign the complex type. Yes, that's fine. So going here and in the sold to party, I'll just go ahead and select, I'll remove this, and I'll just select the complex type that we have created. So that means all sold to party information exists in this particular deep structure. That's what it means. Okay, and let me generate this one so that it will create sold to party is a complex type. But okay, yeah, and let me remove this one. Yeah, sales order customer details, because it is searching for the associated structure in the data structure, database structure what we have given. So we do not want that to happen. Let it get generated. Yeah, it's generated now. And let us go ahead and see if we would like to see it in MPC, how it is created. We are most welcome. We can straight away go ahead into MPC and look at these types, how it is created. Sales order customer type. Uh, go ahead. So if you see, it is created two fields, yes. And this type again, it is having the customer CDS type. If you see, okay, it's a deep structure created here. And now what we will do, again, we will be going back to this CDS, sorry, JSON. In this JSON, we know how the deep JSON will look like. The deep JSON, if it is an array, there will be this square bracket. Otherwise, it starts with flower bracket. So that is what is going to happen in this case as well. So now let me go to my DPC class and implement the get entity set of this one. So let me reload my class, allow it to load all the recent methods generated. So let me come down. Yeah, sales order customer create entity, and get entity set. So now we are going to look at this get entity set. Redefine it. It's fine. If you see here, it has picked up the same structure. So now it's a straightforward implementation, but still I would like to copy my code. Let me filter it out. Sales order set, sales order set get entity, sales order set get entity set. So I'll just go ahead using this one. Uh, yeah, into corresponding fields of table. I'm going to write inner join with the customer I underscore customer. What fields we have selected here? Sales order and sold to party. Those two. So sales order. But as we are writing OpenSQL. Sold to party from I sales order. Customer by customer and customer full name. From this one, left out to join as B on sold to party equals to B customer. Okay, into table. Just need to take it into one of the table. Okay, and et entity set equal to value this one. Come on. For sales order equal to ls line sales order and sold to party equal to value customer equals to customer and customer full name equals to customer full name. So I think done. Let me activate this one. Perfect. So let me go back here. Uh, okay, I didn't save this one, right? Let me save this as a variant. Deep entity. Create deep entity. Using its navigation property. Fine. So now, as we have made corrections in our project as well, let me reload the metadata. Let me clean up the cache. Yeah, that's done. Now let me go to entity sets. Let's pick up the sales order customer set. Perfect. So now let's execute this one and see we have got some response, but let me choose the format JSON. Let's execute again. And if you see here, it's fantastic. Sold to party, customer and customer name. Oh, sorry, we didn't select country. We missed the country, but sales order. So sales order and sold to party are the main properties. Under sold to party, we have the deep information here. So if you see, all the information has been populated here. So if you observe clearly, we have not used expand, we have not used any navigation properties, but still we are able to achieve the deep population of the information in get request. And same thing happens for post request as well. So if we want to implement post request with a deep complex structure, this is the way we will be going ahead and doing it. And remember that complex type will not allow table types. It's only one-to-one information. Okay. If we need to have a n number of records, whether it is get request or post request, we must be going with navigation properties. Okay. So let me populate the country as well here. I shouldn't leave it. Country. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, country. There you go. Done. Good. Let's trigger it again. We have the country as well now. And from here onwards, whatever the uh, filtering criteria, everything goes as usual. And we need to have our business logic needs to be implemented accordingly. So this is the complex structure. And let me save this as a variant in gateway. Save it. Sales order. deep structure format. So if you are referring to these test cases here, which I'm creating, that would help you very well. So if you go here, sales order is the test group, and if you see, we have all of them created here. So you can select, choose any one of them, and you can straight away execute and see the response and implement in your projects. Okay, any questions?
It is only taking the deep picture, right? We can make it another complex type in a complex type.
No. So if you see in the complex type, let me expand this complex type. Uh, complex type, yes. Complex type, we can make it, yes. I think this is up to 8 levels is limited.
Okay.
Yeah, Chandan?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you go to the response? Uh, the order I see, first sold to party is coming, then sales order. But we property we did define property sale order.
Yeah, that's fine. So we don't need to worry about it, right? Order, order.
You can
No, there is no specific reason for this.
uh,
Yeah, all matter is where this object open and where this object closed, and what is root level and what is the next level. The levels matters. That's it.
uh, uh,
Okay. So yeah, that's all for today, I think. So there is more for you to do.